Hey there, I'm Paul David, and this is Moments. Did you know that according to the National Institute for Health, the number one fear among all humans isn't death? It's failure. That's right, more than losing life itself, we fear losing face, losing worth, losing the illusion that we have it all together. Failure. It's a word that feels heavy the moment you say it. It carries shame. It carries judgment. It carries memory of the times we tried and fell short, the times we were laughed at, the times someone told us we weren't enough. But where does that fear come from? It's not born in us. It's taught. We learn to fear failure the moment someone rewards us for being right and punishes us for being wrong. It starts early, in the classrooms, in families, in competition. We grow up believing success is safety and failure is proof we don't belong. But here's the truth. Failure isn't real. Not in the way we think it is. Failure is a state of mind. It's an interpretation, not a definition. It's a reflection of how you see yourself, not who you actually are. Think about it. Two people can experience the same loss. One might call it failure. The other calls it feedback. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's not optimism. That's reality. Because the only way you can truly fail is to stop learning. The rest, it's all data. It's all direction. I want to tell you a story. In 1997, J.K. Rowling was a single mother living on welfare. She'd been rejected by 12 different publishers. 12 times. She was told, "No one will read this." And instead of quitting, she told herself, "I will prove them wrong." Not for revenge, but because I believe in the story I have to tell. She wasn't chasing fame. She was chasing purpose. And the world met her there. Now Harry Potter has sold over 500 million copies, but the real story isn't about the books. It's about a woman who refused to measure herself by rejection. She redefined failure as preparation. Failure, if you look at it, is just the gap between where you are and where you thought you'd be by now. That gap only feels painful because you've attached meaning to it. You said, if I don't reach this level, I'm not enough. But what if that's not true? What if that gap is exactly where you're supposed to be? The space where growth is still happening, where lessons are forming, where strength is being built quietly behind the curtain. Failure isn't the end. It's the classroom where wisdom is taught. There's a man I know, and he started 3 businesses, and all 3 failed. He lost everything. And for a year, he couldn't even say the word entrepreneur. He'd whisper it like it was a scarlet letter. But after time, something changed. He started volunteering, helping other small business owners avoid the same mistakes he made. He turned his lessons into guidance, and that guidance became his calling. He told me once, "Paul, failure was never the punishment. It was direction. It was God rerouting me towards something better." And he's right. Sometimes failure is simply divine redirection. Failure can be measured 100 different ways. For some, it's financial. For others, it's relational or emotional. But no matter how you measure it, failure is always subjective. It's not what happens to you that defines it. It's how you define what happens to you. When you start seeing failure as feedback, you strip it of its power to paralyze you. You stop living in fear and failing and start learning how to fly through the fall. Because falling isn't failing. It's forward motion. It's gravity pulling you towards growth. Nelson Mandela once said, "I never lose. I either win or I learn." That's it. That's the mindset that changes everything. You stop trying to avoid it. You walk straight into it with curiosity instead of shame. You ask questions like, what is this trying to teach me? What can I do differently next time? How can this make me stronger? Because fear of failure fades when you stop seeing it as an enemy and start treating it as your instructor. So let's go beyond failure. Let's talk about the riches. No, not money, not titles, not applause. I mean the riches of living. When you stop being afraid to fail, you start experiencing life at full volume. You start to take risks again. You say what you mean. You try things that scare you. You love deeper, even when it might hurt. Because you finally understand that failure doesn't define you. Avoidance does. The richest people in the world aren't those who own the most. They're the ones who have given the most, given effort, given courage, given love. Steve Jobs once said, "The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." And that's true for kindness, for compassion, for impact. You can't run out of meaning when you're living to make a difference. So here's your plan. The one that goes beyond failure. Redefine failure. Every time you fall short, say, "This is feedback." That language alone rewires your brain. Take one small risk every day, something uncomfortable, a conversation, an idea, a new habit. Fear shrinks when you face it in small doses. Serve someone else. Every time you lift another person, you rise with them. It's impossible to feel like a failure when you're making someone else's world brighter. Celebrate progress, not perfection. Your worth is not measured by outcomes. It's measured by effort, integrity, and heart. Remember your why you started, why you care, why your voice matters. That's your anchor. That's what keeps you steady when the world calls you a failure. Because the truth is, you will fail. You'll fail often. But that's okay. Because each failure shapes you, refines you, humbles you, and brings you closer to the life that's truly yours. So stop fearing failure. Start fearing not trying. Because the only real failure in life is never giving yourself the chance to see how far you can truly go. Falling forward isn't about avoiding the stumble. It's about learning to use the momentum of your fall to push you closer to where you were meant to land. And every time you fall forward, you get closer to truth, closer to growth, and closer to you. I'm Paul David, and this moment was for you. Until next time, stay brave, stay curious, stay becoming. Thank you.